if you'll observe here, according to the Dalton's atomic theory, he has been said in the second postulate itself, atoms can neither be created nor be destroyed. Understand, Ra? Now, as we know, since an atom cannot be created or destroyed, therefore, the number of various types of atoms in the products of a chemical reaction is same in the number of all those atoms in the reactants. That is what Elamukil said just now. Yes or no, Ra? So, if we take, for example, the number of atoms in the various kinds of atoms in reactant side, whatever the atoms are present, the total number of atoms, which is equals to what, guys? The same total number of atoms in the product side. Is it yes or no? Please respond me. So nobody can destroy and nobody can create the atoms. So that is the reason you can take an atom cannot be created or destroyed. So the number of various types of atoms in the products of a chemical reaction is the same as the number of all those atoms in the reactant side. Will you accept it, guys? Please respond me. So the same number of various atoms in products and reactants will have the same mass also. That is what you should remember. For example, if we take reactant side, one oxygen is there. If that oxygen is having mass is equals to how much, Ra? 16 unit, atomic mass unit, we will study. So in product side also, if one oxygen, definitely one oxygen is only present. Here also, what is the mass, Ra? What is the mass?
15 units.
15 units. U means atomic mass unit. What is that? Atomic mass unit. So that is what I am saying. So if number of atoms in reactants and product side is same, so that their mass is also constant. Understand, Jayvarshini? What I am saying? Maitreya, Darun? That is what you have to understand very carefully. So, if you take the reactant side, whatever the mass of the atoms will be present, the same mass will be present in the product side also. So, the total mass of products is equals to what, Elmukil? The total mass of products is equals to the total mass of reaction. So that we can say the mass remains same before the reaction and after the reaction, chemical reaction. So remains same. What is another word of same? Remains same. Another word. Constant. Conserved. That is what you have to remember. So from that I can say mass is before reaction, which is equals to mass is after reaction. So both are same. The total mass of products, which is equals to what? The total mass of products is equals to total mass of reactants. Understand, Pradosh? Mavanish?
Sir.
So this is the law of conservation of mass. What is that? Law of conservation of mass. So now, what we can say, total mass of products is equals to total mass of reactants. That is what you should write it. That is what the explanation. We will explain with the example also. So we can take total mass of reactants. What is that? Total mass of reactants, which equals to, what is that? Total mass of products. Total mass of products. Will you able to remember? This is what we should call it as law of conservation of mass or law of conservation of atoms. Okay, now let me take examples or how. Example, let me take now. Let us go atoms number of count also same. It must be same. Yes or no, Mavanish? Devarshini, Maitreyan, Sai. Number of atoms also must be same. For example, let me take calcium carbonate. What is calcium carbonate formula? Anybody can say?
CaCO3, sir.
Very good. So calcium carbonate. Observe very carefully. We have to be proved now. Calcium carbonate. You can take, guys. Now, calcium carbonate formula is what? CaCO3. What is that? CaCO3. It is made up of what, guys? Tell me. It is made up of what? One calcium atom. One carbon atom. One calcium atom. Next, one carbon atom.
Three
oxygen atoms.
Others also should speak means communication means it will come. 3 oxygen atom. Understand, Elamukil? Tamil Selvan? Sai?
Yes, sir.
That is. Now, let us go with the reaction. It will start heating. The decomposition will take place. What will happen? Decomposition. And it will form into, observe very carefully, it will start heating. Calcium carbonate, it will start heating. Understanding heat, we can say decomposition. What will come? Decomposition. Is to get calcium oxide, CaO plus CO2. So you can see here, calcium carbonate is different for different chemical properties. Calcium oxide is different and carbon dioxide is different. Yes or no? Now you can verify. These are called as products. What we should call? Products. Understand? This is called as what? Calcium oxide. What we should call?
Calcium oxide.
So we can call it as quicklime. What we should call? Quicklime. Understand? Or simply we can lime or quicklime or calcium oxide. Now, how many calcium atoms in a product side? Count it, all of you. How many calcium atoms in product side? One. Also, calcium is equals to 1. How many carbon atoms? Carbon is also 1. How many oxygen? Oxygen, check it. Oxygen, how many? Here 1 and here 2. Totally how many? 2 plus 1.
3, sir.
2 plus 1. Understand? 2 plus 1, which is equals to 3. Now this is in product side. Reactant side, calcium 1. Understanding? Carbon 1 and oxygen 3. So now both are balanced or not? That's all. So this is what we should call as. What we should call? Law of conservation.
Of mass.
1 calcium atom, 1 carbon atom and 3 oxygen atoms is forming in the product side also. So in product side and reactant side, the same, understanding, same number of atoms. Is it yes, guys?
Yes, sir.
Please respond me. And
Yes, sir.
measure the mass also. There is no change in mass during the decomposition of calcium carbonate to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So the mass is remains conserved, but you should have to do the decomposition reaction in a closed container or open container. Anybody?
Closed container.
Gas is releasing. Calcium oxide is okay. Carbon dioxide is releasing. So if this gas is escape into the atmosphere, then is it mass will become equal? Product's mass?
No, sir.
Never equal. That is because gas is also a matter and gas mass also should be considered. That is why you have to take it in a closed container so that mass of calcium oxide plus mass of carbon dioxide both is equals to what, guys? Mass of calcium carbonate. What is that? Mass of calcium carbonate. Called as explanation of law of conservation of mass. Understand, Laksha? So it will say that the total mass in reactant side, which is equals to what? Total mass in product side, as well as total number of atoms in reactant side, which is equals to what? Total number of atoms in product side. What we should call it as law of, understand, explanation of law of conservation of mass. Now, if you'll understand this, so if you'll understand the explanation of law of conservation of mass is over. Next one, the explanation of second one is what? After Dalton's
proportions.
This explanation is from where? From Dalton's atomic theory. Understand, Ra? Explanation of constant. What is that?
Constant proportional.
Constant proportions. Understand?
Constant proportional.
Constant proportion or different proportion or fixed proportion. Now, observe very carefully. According to the Dalton's atomic theory, you tell me. So you can take every element consists of what? Small particles. What is that particles called as? What is that particles called as? Atoms. Now, each atom is having a fixed mass or different mass. Please respond me. Fixed mass, because for a given element, if you take iron, every element of iron having some mass. If you take gold, every atoms of gold is having some other mass. If you take some other thing, every atom is having the same mass of that substance. That is what you should remember. So each and every atom of a given element is having a fixed mass or different mass. Fixed mass. Okay, guys.
Constant.
Different elements of different element of different substances, they having different masses. Understand, guys? Different elements of different atoms is having different mass, and same elements, same atoms of same element is having what? Fixed mass. Is it okay, Pradosh? Now, elements, atoms of different elements will combine together. What we used to get, guys? What we used to get? What we used to get?
Sir, what, sir?
Different elements. What we used to get?
Sir, compound.
Compounds. That is what the response I should get from you all. So, atoms of different elements. Atoms of different elements will combine together. What it will form, Ra? They will form
Compound.
Yes or no, guys? Please respond me. They will form compounds.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the road. Maitrayan, Tamil Selvan, Sai, respond me. Atoms of different elements combined together so that they will form what, guys? They will form compounds. Now, you tell me the number and kind of atoms of each element in a compound is fixed or variable? Is fixed or variable? That is what I am asking. For example, you can take again water only. So, the number and kind of atoms. The first one is what? Number and
kind
of atoms in a given compound is fixed or varies. That is what I want. Is fixed. Yes or no, guys? Suppose you can take water. Always water and oxygen fixed number 2:1, and their mass is also hydrogen mass is changing. Suppose you can take Tamil Nadu water more heavy and Puduga Andhra water more or less. Is it like that?
No, sir.
No. Everywhere the mass of hydrogen in water and the mass of oxygen in water always what? It is also
Same.
That is what you should understand. Is it okay, guys? Number and kind of atoms in a given compound is always fixed. And also, the mass of atoms of each element in a given compound is fixed or not? You will take water. Hydrogen mass is always fixed. Oxygen mass is also what? Always fixed. Yes or no? So, we can say a compound understanding will always have the same elements combined together in the same proportion by mass or different proportion by mass? Same proportion by mass. Tamil Selvan, same proportion by mass. So this is what we should call as same proportion means what is that law called as? Law of constant proportion. What we should call? Law of constant proportion. Understand, guys? Please respond me.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me take now for example, you can take again same thing. So already I have been explained the example. You can take the water. So what is the ratio? What is the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen water? 2:1. Correct? Please respond me. So now you can go any location in the world. So always water ratio. What is the ratio of atoms? Atoms ratio of hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen. How much, guys? 2:1.
2:1.
Like that mass ratio. Anybody can say mass ratio already we have been done. What is the mass ratio?
1:8, sir.
1:8, sir.
3, sir.
1:8. So this mass ratio is always fixed wherever you can go in the world. Understanding? You can take 100 grams of water. In that, understanding? 100 by how many parts? 1 part. Totally 9 parts. Correct or not, guys? So 9 parts totally. In that 1 part will be what is that? 1 part will be hydrogen and 8 parts will be what? 8 parts will be
Oxygen.
That is
Oxygen.
correct or not, guys? Please
Yes,
respond me.
Yes,
or
sir.
no? Yes. So
Yes, sir.
Sir.
which is equals to what? 11 grams of hydrogen.
Grams.
89 grams of what? 89 grams of
Oxygen.
oxygen. That is like that. It is always fixed mass in everywhere. That is what it is. Explanation of law of what, guys?
Constant proportion.
Constant proportion.
That is what you have to remember. So this is also explained by whom? Dalton's atomic theory. Understand?
Dalton's atomic theory.
Also
Derived from that. That is why you can say law of constant proportion and law of conservation of mass. We can call theoretical approach or practical approaches. They are. What is that? They are the laboratory approaches because experimental approaches.
Estimated by experiment.
They are not said. See, Dalton said by words, but the two theories are what we should call experimental laws. What we should call? Experimental laws.
Experimental laws.
experimental laws? Anybody? Because they have been proved. Law of conservation of mass and as well as law of constant proportion explained with the help of experiment, not with a theory. Yes or no? From that
Yes, sir.
observations, Dalton postulates. How many postulates he has given? 10 postulates.
Dalton postulate.
That is Dalton's theory of Dalton's atomic theory. But Dalton's atomic theory is the modern atomic theory. What we should call it? Modern atomic theory. I hope you all understand till here. Any doubt, guys? This is so.
No, sir.
What we should call it as explanation of law of conservation of mass as well as explanation of law of constant
Law
proportion.
of constant proportion.
Next class we'll study drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory. Actually, we have 3 drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory. So if we'll study that, immediately we'll go to the what is atoms and what is molecules, etc., etc. So most of the things, symbols of elements and everything, modern symbols of elements, most of the things we'll finish in tomorrow. So as I said, tomorrow, how much time will be the class? 1.5 hours. Tomorrow and day after.
1.5 hours.
Okay. So
1.5 hours, sir.
school like Sai, if you're having work, okay, you have a school, you can go, because Mount Zion they have an exam, so that I am going to take a little bit more time. Later for 1 or 2 days you can adjust. Sunday I think no problem. For tomorrow alone, you people can watch the video or else you can attend later. Is it okay, Amma? That's so. With this of the today's class, but Mount Zion everybody have to attend tomorrow. We have to finish most of the things within these 2 days. Okay, guys, that's all, because exam is going to come next week only. So I'm going to stop this one. With this I will stop. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.